Hello, welcome to the away dugout here at Bramall Lane. I am really at Bramall Lane. Look, there I am. Look, there's Chris Gorham. He managed to point out that I did get my grammar wrong in a couple of tweets today, but we'll ignore that. I'm not trying to deliberately put off talking about the football, I promise. But as you will almost certainly know, Norwich City have lost 2-1 here to Sheffield United with a last-minute winner. I'd say last minute, the third minute of injury time from Billy Sharp, coming by way of an attack that was reminiscent of all the attacks Sheffield United kind of put in all game. So no surprise, Norwich have kind of weathered those throughout the game, sometimes with luck, sometimes with judgment. The attack originated with Norwich having the ball in the United half and actually pressing for a winner, and they just made a couple of bad decisions in the build-up to that. I'll confess I haven't seen it back properly, and when I do my little thing on Instagram in the morning, maybe I'll be able to open up a little bit more about it, having seen it. But clearly Norwich instigated that issue themselves in their own half, because had they controlled position there, they wouldn't have let United in, and that's certainly what Daniel Farke reiterated speaking to us afterwards. To distill the rest of it, Norwich were really slow in the first 15 minutes. Sheffield United deservedly went ahead, and it looked like we were going to have a 2 or 3 or 4-0 job. Norwich were really sort of second best. Then sort of 15-20 minutes, Norwich got a foothold in the game. They started dictating play, and to be honest, for the rest of the first half they deserved to at least be level. They were excellent. They got a cracking equaliser on the counter, scored by Jordan Rhodes, who milked it in front of the Kop as well, made by PinkUn, one initially by Jordan Rhodes' flick on, and Anel Hernandez once again doing brilliantly well to get another assist. Second half, Chris Wilder made a tactical change, dropped someone a bit deeper in midfield, so they went more of a 3-5-2 rather than 3-4-3, and that made the game a little more even. I think Norwich also tried to play more on the counter as well themselves, so the dynamic of the game was a little bit different. Norwich had less possession, but still created 2 great chances. Really unlucky from a corner, Pookie volleying over and rotating the post. One big chance which saw a 3-on-1 break with Morris lighting a clean through, Dean Henderson coming out to make a brilliant save. 3v1, as in the one being the keeper. You have to score from that. My major caveat with this is that it was offside. It should have been flagged offside and never should have counted. So, yes, the linesman didn't flag for it, so it would have counted. So maybe you shouldn't look the gift horse in the mouth. But I have to say, Norwich are being pretty good at looking gift horses in the mouth so far this season. So where this leaves us is quite a difficult one, because I think from the 3 performances, let's give my view first. The 3 performances, I think, have been okay. Norwich have been really good in patches. Defensively, they look soft, and they are giving away far too many goals and making it too easy. Offensively, they're looking pretty good, and maybe not taking as many chances as they should do. They've been in every game, but of course they've now lost 2 of them. And probably if we were in the middle of the season when Norwich had a few wins under their belt and we're ticking along, you'd be like, this is an indifferent patch, we need to get out of it. The problem is it's the start of the season, Norwich haven't won a game yet, and the people look at the table, even 3 games in, and the pressure's on. Lots of you guys will remember last season, you won't be happy about it, and you'll be questioning, well, why are we not kicking on? This should be improving now. I want to see that. Likewise, this is a difficult run of fixtures. I thought United were pretty average, to be honest. I don't think they really particularly stood out last year in either game against Norwich, and their intensity was surprisingly short, I thought, at times. So they kind of were there for the taking to a degree. It's certainly disappointing that Norwich haven't, well, it's a bit criminal, to be honest, that Norwich haven't left with anything at all. A draw you would probably have taken it. So it's a mixed bag, because I personally, I'm wanting to see where Norwich are, because the rest of this month is difficult. I want to see where they are at that August international break, and then how the land lies. Clearly they've got a huge game coming up on Wednesday against Preston, but I appreciate that some of you guys will be a little bit less patient than that. So it's going to be a really interesting few days, and quite the situation that Carrow Road embraces on Wednesday will be interesting in itself. A slight bit of good news, Alex Tettey came off, but it was only cramp rather than a hamstring injury, so I don't expect that to be any major issue, and hopefully he'll still be around for Wednesday's game. Although Ben Godfrey came on and showed good pace and did quite well. It came on quite late on though, but I'd be relatively open to that, seeing more of that. I thought Tom Treibold did well generally in most of the game. He needs that protection with him. He can't be the sole holder, but I thought he did well today. Emi Buendia travelled with the squad, wasn't in the 18, but I get the sense that they're bringing him in now and I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him come in soon. Jordan Rhodes really milked his goal in front of the Kop, and had a really interesting chat with him just then about this game and on Saturday just gone against against West Brom, and of course his missed penalty. So some stuff there that you keep an eye out for at PinkUn.com. Tim Krul recovered well. I don't think there were any major obvious errors from him. In fact, he made a couple of decent saves, and just a bit of a mixed bag, and a remarkable propensity to kick themselves when they're down. Norwich, there's a few glum faces around, so be interesting, as I said, how they react on Wednesday, and how you guys react on Wednesday, because I think we're going to see some interesting times, and maybe a real test of what this is and where it's going, and how much patience there is in what Daniel's trying to do. Because in terms of a cold objective view of today, Norwich played okay. They were unlucky to lose, but in a raw sense, and looking at the table, there's pressure, and there's going to be more pressure the longer Norwich City don't manage to win a game. Worth bearing in mind, of course, this time last season, QPR rocked up and Norwich picked up a 2-0 win, and that bought a bit of time until Millwall and Villa. So let's be honest, there needs to be a bit of time bought now to see where Norwich are headed, and we'll see where it all takes us, won't we? PinkUn.com for all the analysis and reaction, of course, from Bramall Lane between now and then looking ahead to Wednesday night's visit up from Alec Neil and Preston North End.